Welcome to the 35th International Documentary Film Festival Munich. To its online edition this year, DOK.fest München takes place online because of the actual situation. My name is Teichmann. I'm one of the programmers of this festival, and today I'm going to talk with Louise Kjeldsen and Louise Detlefsen. They are both from Denmark, and we show their film Fat Front. It's nominated for the Audience Award, so you can vote for the Audience Award. It's the BR Kino Audience Award, and it's donated by BR and Dreisat. Okay, let's start the Q&A. Welcome, Louise and Louise. You are from Denmark, you're in Denmark. Louise Kjeldsen, well, it's now on your right. When you look at them, on the right hand is Louise Kjeldsen, left hand is Louise Detlefsen. Welcome. You're Kjeldsen, right? Yeah. Well,
Thank you very much.
Well, can you tell me maybe where you are exactly? And it looks nice in the background. It looks like countryside, which is at the moment probably the better place to be. So how is it in Denmark? I also heard like Denmark is opened again, also kindergartens, which for me would be kind of, well, schools would be important for me. But how is it at home?
We are at the countryside north of Copenhagen, working from home as most other people. Yeah.
So our kids are almost. My son is back to school. He's finishing his high school this year. So and we're working on the development of new projects. So so actually it's working quite fine for us right now. We're done in the middle of shooting.
Well, that sounds great. You can shoot at the moment already. Again, because here, like.
Oh, I think it's difficult.
Pardon me?
No, that is difficult. So we're spending the time in development.
Okay. Well, Fat Front is your film. I would like to know how well the movement got into your perspective, like how you got to know this movement. You portray 4 women in Scandinavia. It's like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, right? How you found this women, how came you decided for them, and well, that's enough questions at first.
Well, we have known each other for almost 20 years. We've been working together, and we are friends as well. And we've always been unsatisfied with our own bodies. And we've always been trying to lose weight. And so one day we saw these fat girls, that's fat women, on Instagram, and they were not ashamed of their bodies. They were dancing around and showing their bodies and seemed happy and free. And we got very curious, and we wanted to dig into this and try to find out what it was all about. Could it really be true?
Yeah, we were a bit. We were curious, but we were also a bit skeptical to begin with, because we were thinking, can this really be true? Is it possible that there exist women in this Western world who can be fat and actually like their own body? So that was the beginning.
You just said you were always unsatisfied with your own bodies, and speaking for the both of you, as far as I understood, did making this film and meeting these women and did it change your view of your bodies, your perspective on your bodies, your love for your bodies?
I think that you can say both yes and no. Yes, because we have, doing this film, we have learned so much about the brainwashing of all women in terms of perceiving your own body. So I think that we have really come to learn and be aware of the way that society is. You have this kind of fat phobia, which is ingrained in all women. So in that sense, I think that we have become smarter, and we have understood more of the structural oppression of fat people in society. We have not weighed ourselves while doing the film, but that is the positive thing. But I would say that we're so old, and we have been living our lives for so many years, always saying that fat is bad, and as a woman you need to always try to shape your body, fight your body in some way to become a success. So I think it will never leave our mind that you have to lose weight next Monday.
Next Monday you start. Yeah. Well, but it's not like, I think you show archive material about this fat underground movement, which is from, I think, started out 75. So this is not a new movement. It just has this new platform or forum of the internet, of the digital world. So it became much more global. I don't know. Is it a global movement? Or is it in Scandinavia? Is it especially big in Scandinavia?
And, Instagram has made it global. Pardon? If it's big in Scandinavia?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it seems
in like US to be a global movement, right? So it's a global network.
Yes.
It is, but I think that this is different from the activist groups and the way that this fat activism was in the 70s, because now it's not organized in an old-fashioned way. It's a very flat structure, and it's grassroots. So it's people finding each other on Instagram, and it's a very, very broad movement. And you don't have to belong to a certain political opinion or something. This can include young, old, and women of all sorts. But we thought it was interesting with the young women in Scandinavia, because it's also part of a feminist movement, that you have to say no to this stereotype picture of the female body.
What I asked myself is, in Germany, like Scandinavia, more or less, it's probably also a bit of a cliche, but it's always perceived at kind of being a step further than we are in, let's say, feministic issues, gender equality, like you have more like 50, women are paid better, so you are always like a step forward. Would you say like it's the same for the fat movement?
I think it's difficult for us to compare on an international level, but I think that we can feel that our generation, that our daughters are 18 and 21 now, and it's so clear that they belong to a new generation who wants to set different rules for themselves, and they have. I believe that they're really fighting to get a more relaxed relationship with their own body, to fat or thin, and also the whole thing about sexuality is also being looked on in a broader scale. So I think that there's so much is happening with the young people.
How are your protagonists today?
They are fine. I think they have people have shown them a lot of respect, and they have grown, and today actually the Norwegian marcher, see on the front page of this national newspaper, Norwegian newspaper, and beautiful pictures, and she's so proud, and they're fine.
I think that they have, many people have started to follow them. So in a way, this has really also made their activism bigger. And I think that they enjoy being kind of a role model for other women. But still, they're just ordinary young women sharing their personal stories.
The film was shown on Danish television for a couple of weeks ago, and Danish Helena. She received so many messages, and people are really so glad and thankful that she has told her story. And yeah.
But that was one thing when we began. We were doing our research, so we were looking for all kinds of fiction film and with fat protagonists, like main characters, and well, we just found out there are very few. And when you have a fat woman in a film, well, she will normally need to lose weight in order to marry some nice guy in the end. So there are never the one driving the narrative. They're always silly or funny or stupid. So
there's Muriel's wedding.
This is
Muriel's wedding. There's Muriel's wedding.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's one of the few ones.
Yeah. It's one of the few ones. But it's hilarious.
Where the fat main characters doesn't have to lose weight in the end.
Yeah, not so many. It's true. It's the only one which now spontaneously comes to my mind. But well, true. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the comments and the stories that they have received. So many young fat girls who have been writing that for the first time they have seen somebody who represented them in media, and that was quite overwhelming.
You decided in your film to stay with the women, kind of not to show like you could have asked friends or having interviews with, let's say, non-fat people. You decided to stay with the fat girls and their perspective of themselves and their world. You just shortly showed the shitstorm, right? This is like, you know, what can also, this not only that they have followers and everything is positive, it has also another side, also this digital existence, I would say, like this 2.0, 2.0 existence in the internet, on Instagram. How come this decision? Were you discussing this, or was it clear from the beginning that you stay with their perspective?
That was very clear. I think that is we have been working together for more than 20 years, and I think that's the way we like to work with documentary, that we always have the perspective of the protagonist, and we work not journalistic, but we work in terms of getting very close to our main characters and seeing the world through their eyes, kind of.
And you're also picking up their positivity, right? Because there must be difficult times for them, but it's more like you try to stay as positive as they are. So it's also what's that, a state of mind you pick up. You take over their state of how they want to feel, kind of. It's a very positive movie, what I appreciate a lot.
Yeah, it is. And, but they have some troubles as well during in the film. The Swedish Pauline, she's in many ways she's feeling liberated and proud of her body, but sometimes she just get these throwbacks where she's hate her body, and she goes to therapy and tries to get help. So they're not just happy-go-lucky all the time.
Yeah, no, we see that scene where she has an eating disorder, obviously, or has.
But we were very. We knew from the beginning that we didn't want to make the stereotype of the fat woman being a victim, because that is often the perspective that if stories are told about fat people, it's we feel sorry for them because they're fat. And that was also kind of taking their perspective. But for each character in the film, we go into some of their trauma from their childhood. And I think that was something that really struck us, our hearts the most, is that they had so similar stories from their childhood where people were pointing at them and their body as wrong. When they were 8-9 years, the Swedish girl, she was put on a diet from her family, but also society telling her, a young innocent child, that she's wrong, which created an eating disorder. And I think this is really a sad story. So there is tragedy, but we wanted the energy from the movement to be in the film.
But also they're not victims. They are strong and they're independent and liberated. So that's why they came up this way in the film.
How was it for them seeing the film?
You should ask them. But
yeah. They're very proud, and they were very touched, and especially seeing, because I mean they know their own story, and of course they have been very aware of what we were shooting during the shooting, but when they saw the other character story, they were very touched, because again, seeing somebody and you can connect, you feel represented, that moved them.
And they became friends.
I just wanted to ask if they met each other.
Yeah, they met each other when we were doing some press photography, shooting to do the and we were going to promote the film. They met and they became close friends, and and also I think they can use the film because they're activists. They were activists before the film, and they're still activists, and that's a good way to show what they believe in.
So they probably have more followers now since the film was shown on Danish television, right?
Yes. So I think it's been a very positive experience for them, but of course they were also very scared, because this is a very it's very personal stories, and we feel that we describe them in a very honest way. So I think they were also very scared of reactions from friends and family and society, because there are vulnerable people as well.
Oh, and you show very intimate sides, right? They don't show on Instagram, so it's
more.
different story.
I mean, there are two of them are totally naked, and the other two are almost naked in the film. So just, I mean, being
naked in a physical way.
Yeah, naked, and being, I mean, having lived with so much shame, which is such a negative feeling, and being able to show their body, I mean, on film, naked, that's a huge step in so many ways.
It is. In the beginning, you said you're developing a new project, what it's going to be about. Feminist approach again.
As a secret until now.
Oh, but it's completely different. But we're also looking at female characters. I think this is something that we have not decided, but it just feels natural for us, and it's about life crisis in some way.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day in the countryside, Louise. And Louise, thank you for this.
And thank you. And
thank you
wonderful.
And don't forget the audience to vote for the Audience Award. The film is nominated for the Audience Award Fat Front German premiere at DOK.fest München at home.